Hello, and welcome to Expose Yourself to Art. This is the show where we talk to artists about their lives, their art, and the creative process. I'm Linda Scheller, and with me, as always, is our co-host, David Schrader. Come on, David, and join us, please.
Excuse me.
Why are you so tired?
Uh, Actually, I was up late last night at the dress rehearsal for Opera Modesto's Magic Flute, taking promotion pictures for them. So I got in late, and I'm okay. I'm ready to go again.
That's great.
I slept in a little bit this morning, so. But maybe that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
We have an interesting show today, talking about all of the artists on the Artist Open Studio Tour. But before that, we spend a few minutes talking about what's going on around town, around the county. And first on the list is The Magic Flute by Opera Modesto. It will be at the Gallows Center for the Arts, October 15th at 7:30 p.m. and October 17th at 2 p.m. Tickets at galloarts.org. And that's one of the pictures I took. It is a spectacular show. I encourage everyone to go. It's from beginning to end. The amount of creativity that went into this show is incredible. Go see it. Even if you're not an opera fan, you will be pleasantly surprised at what you see and hear.
And this is the perfect first opera if a person has never seen one before. Right. Oh gosh, looks great.
So,
Creating Meaning is an exhibition of inspirational art, writing, and photography created by cancer survivors and caregivers. It's at the Mislin Gallery through November 12th. In addition, a small memorial retrospective of works by Brian Swander is also on display.
So, another one of these once a year spectacular events, Modesto Area Music Awards. So, voting for the Modesto Area Music Awards ends Sunday, October 17th at 11:59. It's at music.com/vote. Get your vote in for your favorite musical group.
Elements of Renewal is a juried art exhibition to celebrate the Carnegie Art Center's 10th year anniversary as it rose from the ashes from a devastating fire in 2005. It opens today through January 23rd.
Okay, and next up, the vibes. Bring a donation of a coat or warm clothing and hear a gathering of the vibes. Thursday, October 14th from 6 to 9 p.m. at 3318 Wycliffe Drive, Modesto. Brought to you by Patty Castillo Davis and Modesto View.
Modesto Stanislaus Poetry Center presents a poetry workshop with acclaimed Mexican poet and translator Marcelo Hernandez Castillo, Poetry in the Age of Pandemics, on Saturday, October 16th, 2021, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with a musical interlude. It's only $15. You can register and access the Zoom link via Eventbrite. And to purchase the tickets and to receive more information, please go to mostpoetry.org.
All right, let's get on with the show. We have two guests today, Linda Knoll and Karen Kingsbury, and they will take us on a tour of the Artist Open Studios in the area. So welcome, Linda. Welcome, Karen. Come in and tell us about the tour you're going to take us on. There we go. Karen. Hi, Hello. Karen. Hi, Linda.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. So tell us about the Artist Open Studio Tour, where it came from, what it's about. It's your show. Lead us through it. It's your tour.
Okay. Well, I started participating in this open studio tour 11 years ago. It started up again after a long hiatus in 2010. It was started up again by Chella and Alice Richards, and they invited artists from all over the county to participate and open their studios and homes to, it's kind of a self-guided driving tour. After a couple of years, I ended up sitting on the steering committee and have been there ever since.
Okay.
And I also am on the committee as of last year. And last year, of course, we didn't have any Artist Open Studio. And this year, we've been trying to have Artist Open Studio repeatedly, and finally it's happening.
Great. Right. I participated a couple of years. So the idea is that artists open their homes, their studios, and as you said, it's a self-guided tour around it's more than just Modesto. It's in what, Turlock, Oakdale?
Right. Yeah, we do have studios in Turlock and Oakdale. There's been studios in Ceres and Waterford before, but not this year. So if you want to pick up a tour guide, this is the actual printed guide to the tour, which can be found at the Carnegie Arts Center or Michelin Gallery. You can pick one up for free, or you can download one online at our website, which is on the screen there.
Oh, okay. Okay. So there's no cost to this. This is, you can just drive around and see what the artists in the area are doing.
Right. Although we do hope that you'll purchase some art while you're out and about.
Yes, that's always the hope. Okay. So where do we start?
Well, let me find my sharing here. So yeah, the first studio that I want to tell you about is in Turlock, actually. And there are 3 artists at the studio. The studio is actually owned by Rhett Owings, but she's invited Jerry Barlow and Dick Davis to join her. And this is Jerry Barlow, who has a lot of ceramic vessels and large pots, and they're very fun. Just large pottery things to sell. Okay. And show. And Dick Davis has glassware. He makes hummingbird feeders and
glass bird feeders.
Yeah, glass bird feeders, which is kind of unusual. I think this is the first time that he's participated in the tour.
Ah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it now. Yeah, hummingbird feeders. Right.
Yeah. They're really beautiful. Yeah. Handmade. And here's Rhett's painting, and Rhett Owings is a very well-known prolific artist around Turlock and the area, and she does acrylic and oil plein air painting, but she also does a lot of mixed media and other sorts of things too. She has embellished paper cranes and note cards and prints that she sells there at her studio, and actually she has some of her items here at Michelin Gallery and at the Carnegie Center as well.
Oh, okay. And is there an address? I realize people probably won't remember this, but do you have an address for this?
Yeah, she's at 1140 East Main in Turlock. And this is the only Turlock studio this year, but while you're there, you should definitely go by the Carnegie Art Center and see their new shows that are opening. And they are a sponsor of the tour too, so worth the time to stop by there.
Okay. So next. Here.
Okay, so the next artist is a little bit of a different kind of artist. This is Melissa Kelly, and she has her own business as a healing practitioner and master of living arts. And so she offers personal and group ceremonies, classes, and personal healing sessions to help clients transform their lives into works of art.
Ah,
And she is in Modesto, and in the tour booklet, which is either online or available at Mislin Gallery, the physical book, as well as Chartreuse Muse, and one other place, Linda, it's offered. Coffee House, I forget.
Yeah, I think there's some at Diva.
Okay. And so all of the addresses, directions, cross streets, etc., are available.
okay.
So Melissa's here in downtown.
Okay. So is she, does she have her own art that she's going to be sharing? I mean, it was, you said she helps other people do art, like art therapist or something.
Right. As I said, her practice is a little bit unique for the tour.
Okay.
So, I'm
Definitely.
lost to describe it more.
Okay, well, it's definitely one I'll go check out. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
it's different. It's really different. Okay.
yeah.
Forgive me if you already said so, but what's the earliest that you can drop in on the artists, and until what time can you do this?
So both days are 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. So also downtown at the Queen Bean Coffee House will be two artists, Ann Whitman, whose painting this is, and Christy Moore. Anne is a very fine watercolor portraitist, and she's got a very unique style that she's been developing, and she does some still lifes and landscapes as well, but she's really into portraits. And Christy has some unusual art, kind of pop art. And expressionistic paintings on canvas and wood and paper. And she also makes accessories like handbags, and she paints things like that. So,
Okay.
And that's at the Queen Bean, which is on 14th Street.
Okay. She needs a shave. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty unique.
Yeah, just unique.
Yep, for sure.
Another good one to stop in and see.
Yes.
Yeah. Next.
So the next artists are a husband and wife. This is a painting by Brad Hahn, who incidentally just won Best of Show in our Autumn Art Festival that just recently ended. So he didn't sell that painting, so maybe you'll see it at their studio. They're also here in Modesto, and Brad does bold impressionistic watercolor, figurative portraits, and still life. And his wife is also going to be at the same location. Duh. And her name is Nancy Hahn.
Sorry, hang on.
Okay.
That's Nancy there.
There we go. And she had some lovely dogs at the most recent Autumn Art Festival, and she just does marvelous dog portraits, impressionistic pets, and still lives in oil.
Right. And actually, kind of last minute joining them will be this gentleman, Greg Larson, who had signed up for our original tour. But anyway, he's just kind of getting on the boat this week. And he has a lot of watercolor landscapes. So he will also be at Brad Hahn's studio. So.
Oh, great. I remember meeting him years ago. So glad to see he's still around and still painting.
Yeah.
That's a definite stop at that place. These are three very, very talented artists.
Yes.
Yeah. And Nancy, by the way, won a first prize at the latest art festival too.
That's right.
For a dog, she had 3 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
In the picture.
She did.
Board of directors, she called it.
Okay. So the next studio is also near downtown on Sycamore, just off near Grisada Park. And this is by James Horning, who does a lot of intuitive abstract acrylic and mixed media paintings. And he is joined by Sarah Aronson, who also does some expressionistic acrylic paintings on canvas. I think they're kind of similar in style, so they're going to go together pretty well. But that'll be a fun stop, and they're both new on the tour this year.
Oh, good. Looks very inviting. Very interesting. Huh. So, will people be painting or doing their art during these visits? Do you know? Or this is more just an exhibit of what they do?
I think some people, I know a number of artists do get out a demo piece and work on it while their guests are there. I've always found that difficult for myself. I just find it hard to focus because I'm really focused on an artwork when I'm working on it. But
Right.
there are a number of artists who will have demonstrations going.
Okay, that's understandable.
So our next tour stop is a jewelry maker, and this is Suzanne Mccaslin's work. She's joining us new on the tour this year, and she does found object jewelry and also enjoys working with pearls, turquoise, and lapis, and trying out new mediums. So she's very excited to be a part of our tour.
Great. And she's in Modesto?
She is also in Modesto. As we're showing you the art on the map, basically we've kind of put each artist in relation geographically close to each other. So as we go, each person is on the map as the next number based on geography.
Ah, okay.
Right. So we're kind of cruising through the college area here for the next couple of studios.
Okay.
And the next one nearby is Richard Bradshaw and Jim Christensen. This is Richard's artwork, and he does all kinds of interesting watercolor, and he does a lot of wrapped jewelry, the wire wrapped jewelry, and he's really into the fantasy sort of art, and so it's always really interesting to see what he comes up with. And Jim Christensen, who's pretty well known, he's been on the tour for as long as I've been on it as well, has a lot of different styles. This is one of my favorites, his jazz series. But it's always whimsical and semi-realistic in watercolors and acrylics. He has an extensive portfolio of figure paintings and drawings. So
Don't forget cats with coffee too.
yes. Oh, and the wine frogs as well.
Okay. I was waiting to see how you would describe his work.
Well,
I like whimsical. Yes.
Right.
eccentric, eclectic, those are all good words for Jim.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so it's always a fun studio, and he's got his entire yard set up with art benches and outdoor art, so it'll be fun.
Yes.
Great.
Well, the next artist on the tour is actually one of our presenters today, so I really should let Linda talk about the next two artists because one of them is her.
It's me. Yes, this is me. And I will have quite a few watercolors out there. This is a watercolor I did last year and has been exhibited in a couple of shows recently. But I also have some picture books, and I'll have some of my arts magazine available that I've been publishing in the last year. So quite a few different things. And I also usually make cards and prints and things that are affordable. And for the first time joining me this year at my studio is Kelly Lemons.
Okay, before you go to her, could you go back and tell us about this picture? Who is this? There's a story that goes with it, right?
There is actually. This is a painting, a portrait of Rachel Carson, who was a pioneer in the environmental movement in the 1960s. And one of her first books was called Undersea. And she was a writer for the National Park Service, or the what was predecessor to the wildlife refuge system. And she wrote a lot about ocean wildlife. And so I just kind of made her part of the ocean wildlife there. And yeah, so that was I made the portrait for our Women in Art show that was last year, kind of during the pandemic, and here at the Michelin, and it was also shown at the Carnegie Center in their library exhibit.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. It's always interesting to hear the story behind some of these pictures. So thank you.
Yeah. So Kelly also actually kind of has an illustration background and a little bit of a whimsical, children's-oriented style. So I thought she would fit quite well with my genre. Anyway, she's really sweet and will have a lot of drawings and paintings of various things. So
Now, how do you pair yourselves up?
Mostly the studios are, if there's a group of friends or people who typically work together, they'll kind of join up on the tour. If there's someone who doesn't have a studio who doesn't have the ability to open their own home, we try to pair them up. The steering committee tries to find someone who is willing to have them at their home. And the gal who's usually at my studio was not able to do it this fall, so I invited Kelly to take her place.
Yes, and I can add to that by saying I was on the tour for a couple of years and stopped. It's a lot of work to put some of this stuff together. So I was very happy to find a partner this year to kind of share the work.
Yeah. Although I always look at it as an excuse to clean the yard up.
Right.
So it's a good reason.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. There's me. So nearby me, you want to take this one, Karen?
Yeah. So next on our tour is Randy Crimmel, who is just a wonderful potter and ceramicist. He has the most gorgeous glazes on his sculptural ceramics. I recently got a set of shards from him to make a sculpture with, and I made a little monster with his shards, and I got to handle them, and they're just so rich and beautiful. And so Randy does functional as well as creative sculptural ceramics in stoneware and porcelain clays, and typically fires cones 6 and 10. So, yeah, that will be a fun one to visit on the tour, I think.
Okay.
Yep.
And are we still in the college area, or have we left there?
Yeah. He's closer up to Orangeburg and Tully, but just a few blocks from me.
Okay.
So yeah, we're still kind of in the college area. And the next one it's kind of our last one in the college area here. Lindsay Talcott, who is a photographer and a first-time tour participant. She has a lot of wildlife photography and travel and very varied adventures in the wild and natural places. So, and she's on Carla Lane, which is over by Roseburg Square, if you're familiar with that area.
Okay. Yeah. Someone new. I haven't heard of her before. So
Yeah.
good.
And next on the tour is David Bienkowski, and he does several kinds of art. He does paintings that are representational, typically colorful and whimsical, but he also does jewelry, chains, rings, and things, mostly hand soldered silver.
Ah,
I was having a hard time telling what was a painting and what was jewelry in this picture.
Right.
yeah.
We have a collage here of different pieces.
Okay. Yeah. That'd be interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
Talented people.
Yes.
Quite. And David's studio is just across McHenry on Helen Avenue.
Okay.
And near to that is Aaron Buttram's studio. And he has these beautifully geometric, abstract pieces. I just love his work. And he describes it as having several layers, both in materials and meaning. He uses wood panel and applies paint and collage and more paint to work up layers, and he sands things and scrapes things, and it all comes out with these beautiful textures and colors that are very interesting.
Right. He had a couple in the last show we did too, didn't we?
Yes.
He did.
The Artist Autumn Art Festival show. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I remember. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how, I don't know what, interesting and intriguing it is when he just works with very simple, common shapes. I mean, the ones in the show just looked like bricks. I mean, that's one way of talking about them, but they were, as you say, very textured and varied colors, and so you become I became kind of mesmerized by them, just sitting and looking at them. And on the surface, it's very simple, or seems to be.
Yeah.
So.
And then we come to.
Okay, so
let's come back to that one.
Okay, so the next studio is mine, and I make mosaics as well as wind chimes. I also have sculptured mosaics, and I have things that hang on the wall. Spotty is there on the left, the dog, and the calico cat on the right, both sold. I took Spotty to his new home yesterday, and during Autumn Art Festival, Calico Kitty sold. So I will have other things besides that. For example, right now I am working on this little seahorse, which is very colorful and has a lot of texture to it. And I'm making some more dogs and cats. And then I just I have to grout it, but this is a little vintage trailer that's going to be in the show. So just some fun things that are on my studio table that are going to be made. I don't try to work on a piece while people are there. My response to that is the purpose of them coming is to talk about the art that they can buy right now.
Good luck with that.
Well, I am like focused on telling them about the art. And I find when I'm a docent at the gallery that people really enjoy listening and talking about the art, and they get an enhanced experience at the gallery. They get to talk to an artist. So that's really one of the cool things about the whole studio tour is the ability to meet and talk about art with so many different artists. So
well,
Definitely.
speaking of that, before we move on, how did you get into this? I mean, your stuff is somewhat it's all art is unique to the artist, but it's very playful and fun. And have you done this your whole life, or is this a recent thing?
Well, I was mostly an educator, but I have always loved garden art. And I've lived in a couple of different countries. I lived 5 years in Nicaragua, and I lived 4 years in the Marshall Islands in Micronesia, and I got to experience a lot of handmade art and learn about it. And once I retired from San Francisco State University, which I'd worked for like 25 years, I had this whole plan that I was going to start my own business, and I had all these ideas ready to go. So I'm currently really prolific because I've been thinking about it for a long time.
Great. Well, I definitely have to stop by your place and hear your story.
I would love to tell you.
Okay.
I'd love you to come because it's going to be fun. I'll put a pop-up tent in the front yard. There's a big old driveway area, and so everything will be hanging up on a cattle fence, so you can walk around and experience it. And sitting at a table nearby is going to be the second artist at the same location at my studio. Her name is Carmen King, and she makes these wonderful jewelry pieces that are all angels. They have wings, and then the materials she uses for the rest of it is inspired either by the person or the time of the year. And she wants to put up a table so that people that come, especially if they have children, can make their own wing jewelry piece, their own little mini angel. So she wants a hands-on experience at her table.
All right.
So I hope you can come to do that.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I've been promising to come to all these, and I just realized that I'm at my one studio myself, and I can't move.
I know.
That's been always one of the disappointments there. I want to see everybody else's stuff.
It is. A couple of years ago, I took a year off just so I could go and look at some of the other studios, and it was actually really fun. And it's nice to visit with everybody else sometimes.
Yeah. So, Linda Scheller, have you ever gone on this tour?
Well, I know I went to Brian's studio. I don't remember any other artists that I might have dropped in on, but because he was a friend of mine, I definitely wanted to check out what he was doing. And but yeah, this looks fabulous. I need to do this.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so next here.
Right. So we're kind of moving up the road to North Modesto, and this is the work of Tom Donaldson, who is up off of Sylvan and McHenry area, and he makes these wood boxes and trays and hand paints all of them, and they're just gorgeous. And he's got so much stuff there, and it's very reasonably priced, and just really, really nice wood recipe boxes, cheese boards, cutting boards, and other lovely things. So
Okay. And next we have,
So next on the tour is an artist that is pretty well known around here, Cella. And this is a painting that she submitted for the Open Studio booklet that I thought was really cool. Normally, she does impressionistic plein air a lot with oil, but she does like mixed media, non-objective style, social commentary, and she'll also have note cards. So
okay.
it's going to be a fun one.
yeah, I want to mention that she's back at her own studio this year. She was planning to participate at a different location, our sponsor, Shelton Lee Flooring, who also has a display of her art there, but she will be at her own studio.
Right.
This is in North Modesto, you said, or?
Yeah, just
I'm
off
getting that.
Coffee out toward Riverbank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we
So
come to,
we might recognize the next artist here.
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, David, do you want to tell us about that one?
Sure. I'm not sure I have a really good explanation, but during COVID, I was sitting around and not getting out to pursue my photography through travels as I usually do. So I sat around with some of the old things in my archives and went through the Yosemite folder and turned a lot of them into black and whites. Just, a lot of them seem to have interesting structures and contrasts. So this year I decided to do only black and white impressions of Yosemite. So if people are come expecting some of the other stuff that I've done in the past, mostly colorful landscapes or nudes in the landscape or things such as that, nope, not this year. Just black and white impressions of Yosemite. And I'll be at Tony Pooler's house. He was gracious enough, he has a great backyard, and he was gracious enough to let me come and put some of my pictures up there.
This has a marvelous tactile quality. I love it in black and white.
Yeah. This, by the way, is it's the skeleton of a Jeffrey pine, and the Jeffrey pine on top of Sentinel Dome was made famous by Ansel Adams when it was alive. I find it more interesting now that it's dead, but it is no longer there. So if you climb up Sentinel Dome, it will not be there because as it aged, it just deteriorated and fell over and blew away. So it's not there anymore. So I think I took this 20 years ago, something like that. So
fun. Aren't you going to have some of those same photos at the gallery next month as our featured artist?
Yes, any of these that don't sell will be at the gallery. So, yeah.
Okay. So here's Tony Pooler, who has watercolors and acrylics and oils, a lot of landscapes, seascapes, florals, just about anything actually. He also has, I don't know if he's going to be showing them some car paintings of old cars and things, but his watercolors have just been getting better and better, and some really stunning pieces.
Right. I say that too. I'm wanting to compliment him, saying, you're getting better. But then when I say that, it's like, oh, that means you weren't so good before. It's like,
no, everybody always wants to hear that they're doing better.
Okay. Yeah, he really is. Most of his watercolors are becoming, I don't know. They just draw me in. They're very, very good. So
Yes.
come and see them. and I'll chat with you. Even if you don't like black and white photography, come on. I'd love to talk with you. Yeah. That's my fun about doing this, by the way. It's not so much selling the things, it's being able to talk with other people about art and their interest in the art and about your art. And it makes for a nice conversation. It makes for a nice way to spend the afternoon.
Right.
So,
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. So what's up next?
So this is artist Peter Lee, who does landscape, nature, and city photography. And he actually has his own studio doing commercial product photography.
Uh-huh.
And he's near Sherwood and College Avenues.
Right. Now, he's an interesting person to sit and talk with. He's from England, and he, if he's in the mood, he dresses like an English, very dapper English gentleman in clothes that can only, well, you can identify him immediately as to where he's from.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a very, very interesting man to have a conversation with.
Yep.
So.
Okay. So our next studio actually has a large group of ladies, which includes Angelique Arnold, who has jewelry, mixed media jewelry, and acrylics and photography. And she's in the studio of Henrietta Sparkman.
Oh, okay.
Who is this? No, this is Barbara's. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Barbara Gill and Henrietta, Chloe Fonda, Corinne Robson, and Angelique Arnold are all at Henrietta's studio. And that's over near College and Bowen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this watercolor is by Barbara Gill, who does mainly seascapes and landscapes, summer plein air and summer studio. She has some really interesting, and she's been winning awards a lot lately with her watercolors, so she should have some beautiful things there.
Uh-huh. Do we have something of Henrietta's here, or?
I do. Oh, here's Chloe Fonda, who I'm not sure is actually going to be in attendance, but they will have some of her artwork there.
Okay.
Oh, and this is Corinne Robson. I don't know how Henrietta got to be the last one, but Corinne also has jewelry with stones and crystals and handmade glass things. And here's Henrietta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Henrietta's work includes plein air, acrylics, and oils, some mixed media and printmaking. She does landscapes as well as abstracts and in various genres. So, and her studio is beautiful. I'm not certain she's letting people indoors, but she'll probably show her studio. But she has a lovely yard too.
Yes, yes, she does. I was glad you said that. That her studio is one of the I don't know, but nicest ones
It is
in town. Yeah. She has a specially built studio at the back of her house, and it's just fun to go in the studio, and it's almost like you're in an art store.
Yeah.
With all the paints and all of the accoutrements that go with making art, it's all there, and it's just fun to walk through there.
Yeah, definitely.
Real immersion.
Yeah, if she does, and I want to mention this, if she does let people indoors to her studio, she will require masks, which anybody who is indoors, we recommend that you be kind to our artists and don a mask and try to maintain our COVID protocols, because we still are in a state of pandemic. So we want everybody to be respectful and careful.
Yes, thank you.
So the next studio is Tammy Jo Chopit, and she's kind of on the other side of the freeway, on the other side of 99. And I've been to her studio, super fun. She does all kinds of different ceramic pieces. She's been experimenting with sort of a mixed media pieces with the ability to hang them on the wall, and she'll combine like shiny glazes with matte glazes and different colors, and they're kind of pale, and then bright colors interspersed. So super fun art. I actually met Tammy Jo online before I ever met her in reality. She has a YouTube channel called the Hobby Potter, and last year or the year before, she did a 365-day challenge. She made a different coffee mug every single day and put it on her YouTube channel, and it was quite a thing.
She also wrote a book about it. She published an entire book of the 365 days of cups.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would like to see that. And she is an award winner. Wasn't
Yes.
she an award winner at the
Yes.
Autumn Art Festival? Yeah.
Right. First prize in the 3D category. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So well worth making the trek over the freeway to
Yeah.
see her studio.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then our last studio is actually out in Oakdale, and there are a number of artists that will be out there as well at the home of Vonnie Munian, who is way out on Orange Blossom Road. So it's quite a trek out there, but again, kind of worth the trip. She's got 3 or 4 different artists joining her, including Sherry Martin, who makes these wire wrapped and stone pendants.
Okay.
And next, oh, my computer's getting slow. Here's Janet Haroldson, who makes these mixed media figurines. Kind of fun.
They're fun. Funny. Yeah.
And then this is Vonnie's work. Much of her work is horse related because her property is a horse ranch, and she's very much a horse lady. So a lot of her pieces are horse art, equine art. That sounds nicer, I guess.
That sounds
There you
nice.
go.
Yeah, yeah.
Equine art.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you said it's out on Orange Blossom Road. There used to be a studio out there, or a gallery in a barn out there. Is this the one, or is this something
That's
different?
her. Yeah, she has a whole
her.
barn.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's another nice place to stop in.
Yeah, it's a ways out there, but worth the trek. And she used to, Cindy Davis used to also have her studio out there nearby, and the two of them were kind of the furthest away Oakdale people. But unfortunately, Cindy left us for Monterey. So anyway, that's the extent of the studios. I did want to make mention of a couple of pieces we have available in a drawing. At each of the studios, you'll be able to enter a drawing to win an original artwork. And there are 4 pieces that will be given away. And this is one by Cella called The Painter that will be given away in the drawing. And this piece by Randy Crimmel.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. And this piece by Suzanne Stodd. mixed media collage. And unfortunately, she decided not to participate in the tour, but she did have this, still does have this piece available through the drawing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you when I saw this, she's always participated in the past, hasn't she?
She has been in it a number of times.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, not this year.
Okay.
Hopefully next time. And the last of those works that we'll be giving away in the drawing are this one by Jim Christensen called By the Sea.
Okay. So when you say a drawing, it's do you have to pay for this, or is this a free drawing? You just write your name on a stub or something like that?
Yeah, you just write your name on the entry form and drop it at the studio. And the more studios you visit, the more chances you have. So.
Okay. Oh, that's clever. I like that. Yeah. So, to kind of finish up here, you had mentioned that some people, had participated in the past and are not now. And when we talked to you earlier, you said that there were people who were signed up to have an open studio but withdrew, perhaps for concerns about COVID or something like that. Can you say something about that? Are they still in the brochure? Will people show up at their houses?
Karen, do you want to take that one?
Well, we printed a physical book, and in that time we had 39 artists, and we have fewer artists now.
Okay.
So if you download the version that's online, you have a better chance of having a more up-to-date knowledge of who's actually participating. And so even if you have the booklet, you could refer to the online version just to make sure you're not choosing a studio that's not open. If you happen to go to a studio and it's not open, I pretty much bet there'll be some sort of a sign on the door saying that they're not participating. But
Probably.
hopefully, yes, I certainly would hope that's what they'll do.
Yeah, I plan on posting, making a post of the We'll Miss You studios on our Facebook. So you can always refer to the Facebook page too to find out who's not participating. And hopefully you can still contact them through other means because, we want to support our local artists in all ways.
Yes, the nice thing about the booklet is we have their websites, usually their Facebook pages, Instagram, Twitter, and so you can always use that set of social media links to see more about their art and contact them perhaps in the future.
So now in the past, this booklet, the printed version, we always paid for that. It's free this year. Is that the?
It is free, and yeah, we just it was actually even before the whole pandemic thing. We had decided that we would try doing it for free this time, just to see if we got any kind of different response than we have in previous years. A wider audience, a younger audience. We're just trying different things to see if we could expand our
participation.
Yeah. So
okay. And the last visual you had out were a bunch of were these your sponsors?
Right.
Yes.
That you had?
So yeah. Let me share that one more time. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had contributions from all of these places, and we hope the galleries that you'll stop by at the galleries while you're out and about. And Shelton Lee Flooring again has Chella's artwork, and Slater's has a lot of Nicole Slater's. artwork, even though Nicole's studio is actually one of the ones that will not be open.
But you can see her work in the store itself, right?
In the store, yeah.
Yeah. And right, another well-known potter in the area will be at Chartreuse Muse, I believe, too. Why can't I think of his name? I'm old today. We've had him on the show.
Yeah. Oh, Don Hall. Yeah, Don
Hall.
actually has. He has quite a few pieces at the Chartreuse Muse with another artist whose name I can't remember either.
Yeah.
So,
I'm disappointed that he isn't open this year. I've always enjoyed going and seeing his work in person.
Well, at Chartreuse Muse on Art Walk, which is
Yeah.
not this Thursday but next, Don Hall's exhibit is up, and there's a bunch of really fun paintings to go and see.
Right. Right. Always enjoy that.
Yes.
Well, thanks for the tour. Thanks for being on, and thanks for taking us around the town.
It's amazing how many artists and of such variety we have here in this county. I'm really looking forward to the tour. Thank you both
Yeah.
so much.
You're welcome.
yeah, thank you for having us on today.
Okay,
Yes.
so get your tour book and get in your car and go see.
Right.